The Bible tells us to train a child in the way that they should go. It doesn't say force a child. It doesn't say remind the child. It doesn't say beat the child over the head until it happens.
Well,
it says train. Baby, this is the way to go. You choose what you do.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Dad's on Purpose, the podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ashford, man. And as always, finally back after missing an episode, KB, Mr. Kevin Brigance. How you doing, bro?
What's up, baby? One time for Josh, baby. The double Josses, baby. There's on purpose, yeah. Podcast. Bro, always excited to be here.
I'm gonna clip that thing up
and loop it. And just loop it over and over.
That's gonna be a real. I'm gonna put that on my TikTok. Bro, I really wish part of me wishes I could just release this whole episode since we've been recording for 20 minutes already. I'm
gonna tell you now, anything I said before we started, I said.
Oh yeah, we can't release that. Never mind. I forgot. That's G14 classified.
It don't bother me at all. I'm really the way it goes. So
nah, we ain't gonna do it. Man, we got Melanated Daddy back on the set. What's good, bro?
What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
I love the mini.
Yes. What's going on, family?
Oh man. Josh, update us, man. Because apparently Kev told me I gotta ask for an update because apparently you didn't have locks and now you do. And I didn't even know that. But the people on the podcast land, they can't see you, so talk to them.
Before this time, last time we spoke, I wasn't a business owner yet. So I am now the owner and operator of Dad Doula, trademarked LLC. You did? I am a
we gotta get some sound effects. We gotta get some real ones. Because
my sound effects aren't good enough.
I'm not saying they're not good enough, but you know what I'm saying? We can get some sound effects. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But when you have Kev, he is the sound effect. It's kind of like you just let him do it and you save yourself the time and the hassle.
Or what's gonna happen is we're gonna get some sound effects. It ain't gonna be nothing but Kev on there anyways.
Exactly.
Just doing different sound effects.
Override the sound effect.
It's like, oh no. I'm saying like when you hit the button, it's gonna be Kev. Like, do I want a short one? Do I want a long one? What's one?
Medium for this one.
Josh, go ahead.
I am a birth companion for fathers as they prepare themselves to go through all 4 trimesters of birth. So I have a course. I teach them what each trimester brings. I teach them how to advocate for themselves, but I also teach them how to support the woman birthing that baby regardless of the relationship. Because your duty to her is also your duty to that baby. So that's what I started that. Me and the wife have officially been married a year now. Going through this
What are the sound effects, Kev?
Oh,
the one time he had,
I thought
we were going through it. Like I was letting him get through. Like,
what else? Going back to school. So gotta get that right. Back in ministry, gotta get that right. So it's a lot going on. You know, I'm just letting God open doors and I'm just walking.
Y'all got more kids?
No, we're done.
Josh, tell me a little bit about the advocating for dads. Like, how do dads advocate, or where do dads need to advocate? Like, I like that.
Everywhere.
That's not a good enough answer, sir.
I'll answer that question with a story. My wife was dealing with mastitis with baby Love, who's now 1. And so wait, she was pregnant last time.
Mastitis, that's the clots, right? That's the milk clots.
Yes. So the clots of the breast for the ducts.
Yeah.
And painful. I'm talking about, and mind you, we don't know what that feels like, but it's painful. She was in tears. So I was like, hell no, we gotta go. And they told my wife in the ER, you cannot breastfeed your baby due to COVID. So it's clogged. It hurts. The only thing I want to do is release it, but you won't let me. So I called my doula on the phone and said, look, we got 2 options. I'm going to go in here and act a plum ass fool, or I'm going to go in here and act a plum ass fool. Which one do you want me to do? And she laughed and said, advocating is fine. If you got to get kicked out, do what you got to do. We went in there, and I had the baby with me, and I sat at the registration desk because they wouldn't let me in. Mind you, at this time, I was an employee of this same exact hospital. And I sat there and I said, you really have two options. You can let me back, or I'm going to find my way back. I have a badge. I can get back there. What you want to do? They let me back, and my wife is literally in pain, pleading to feed our baby. My baby is crying. She's hungry. My wife is full, engorged, in pain. I sat back. I called Leanne. I said, Leanne, I need you to give me some polite words to say. Otherwise, this ain't going to end well. I spoke. They looked at me. They let her feed. After that, we got our medication. I said, let's go before I kill her. We got to go.
Yeah, you can.
Because it's true, right? Because realistically speaking, during a pandemic does not take away her rights as a mother to feed her baby.
Amen.
Right? So I don't care what's going on. The natural right of a mother to feed her child, and they wouldn't listen to her. They had to see all 6'3" of me to let it happen. It didn't make sense. So I tell men in every situation, advocate. But before you can advocate, you have to know what your partner wants for you to advocate for.
Oh, that's good right there.
So you have to have those conversations. You have to be, I don't care what the dynamic
I was about to say, what if they don't tell us what they want?
Guess what? That's our job to find it out, right? And this is what I mean by that. My wife would often tell me she wants grits. I want grits. I want grits. I want grits. Baby, didn't grits lead to that mastitis? Oatmeal? It was oatmeal, y'all, not grits. Grits was me. Okay, grits is me. Oatmeal's her.
You put sugar in your grits?
No. I like savory grits.
I do.
My wife likes sugar in the grits.
Okay. Anyways, back to the story. That was just a question.
I'm like a Cajun shrimp and grits guy. So I like
them good too.
Savory. Yeah, I need savory.
I like both of them.
I can eat both. It don't matter to me, but I prefer.
Anyways, okay, back to it. She want grits. She want grits. She want oatmeal. She want oatmeal.
Oatmeal. I said, baby, the oatmeal led to that mastitis every time.
Yeah.
Well, I still, no. I love you. No. And she had to find something else to eat for breakfast. Because we're not going to go through this. Advocating doesn't mean it feels good all the time. Advocating just means I won't let you put yourself in a situation you can't get out of.
That's
so
good.
I'm gonna advocate for you regardless of how much you don't like me right now, because I need you to be okay. Now let's flip it. Right now she's advocating for me to lose weight, and I fight it tooth and nail. Hey babe, we gotta get this right. As soon as it's done, we're gonna work out. We got the little Apple Fitness joint. We're gonna go get out. I don't want to, but I understand why I'm doing it,
bro.
So because I understand the why, and my wife was like, "Look, I'm not gonna shut up until you do it." Okay, let's do it then. Shit, let's do it. Let's go. So because of that, right, advocating is a two-way street. So I teach men.
Bro, that really takes commitment, like hella commitment. I don't know another word, but that takes hella commitment on both parts. Because that is, that's, I mean, marriage does too, obviously, but to be committed and to advocate on that level, and I don't even know why I'm saying on that level, because I feel like that should be the norm. But I know in my household that ain't.
Should be, yeah.
I know in my house that ain't. Why? Because I'm like, hey, I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm getting a little chunky. You know what I'm saying? And my wife has said something about her weight before, and I'm like, hey, well, we just need to work out. It's like, oh well, you know what? Let's have this. You know, they got patty pies at the church, so we can go ahead. We can have one. You know what I'm saying? We can have one. But in reality, that's not what it should be. It should be more like, you know, nobody. People on the podcast can't see what I just did, but that's.
But I love that too, because I never thought about advocating for someone for themselves.
That's the whole point.
What I just heard. Excuse me. What I just heard is she's not just advocating for you for like rights or for like, she's advocating for you for yourself, for your health, and to that live. You know, we think about advocating. We think about like, because of somebody else is trying to approach us or do something to us, but we never think about, oh man, you're advocating for me to do better for me. And That's another cool way to think about accountability, and I think that's why we don't see it a lot, Josh, and it's not normal because I think sometimes we're afraid of accountability, right? Because we don't know what.
Hell yeah.
But but we don't know. But I also don't believe that we know what. I think accountability is construed. Like I don't think that there's because I think accountability is loving. Mm-hmm. But I think there's accountability that's also harmful and mean. And I think that's the accountability we're used to is the anger, the mean, instead of the loving side. Like, hey, I love you. I love you.
I don't think that's accountability though.
Go ahead.
Like that mean side. Like when you paying someone to what's the word? It starts with a D, but like
degrade you.
Thank you. Golly. Yeah, when you paying somebody to degrade you, like I don't know if that's advocating for you. I feel like an advocate in the sense of a word is someone that is supporting you. Mm-hmm. Like how you support me when you sitting there beating me down. Like you're not supporting my self-esteem. You're not supporting anything. Like all you worried about is the goal, which necessarily isn't supporting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So we had the reason advocating is so big in our household is because we had a real conversation. And in this real conversation, Mr. Kevin often hear me say, iron sharpens iron. In any relationship, you have to be okay with a certain level of conflict.
Yeah.
If you're not okay with conflict, you can't advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Because realistically speaking, what I'm telling you, I'm advocating for you. Perfect example. If you have a loved one who is on their deathbed and they don't want to make the changes to live, because they don't want to change who they are fundamentally. My job as an advocate, and because I love you, is I'm going to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because you may not like what I'm putting you through, but I'm going to push you to live.
Mm.
Advocating has to be something that feels so strongly about it, because if you don't do it, in certain cases, it can lead to death.
Mm.
So in certain, and this is really extreme, right? I get it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is when we come to the point of advocating, even from my wife have to often tell me, Josh, relax, don't stop. You finna say something to this dude crazy. You stop, it ain't worth it. He looked at you, baby, relax.
Yeah.
You're too big to be getting.
Yeah. When I go off, bro, it's crazy, right? When she advocates in that manner, it's literally, baby, I'm fighting for you so you don't have to stop. You don't have to fight. I'm fighting for you so you don't have to.
That's good.
Right? And my wife had to drill into me because advocating, aka correction, always had a negative connotation for me.
Why?
Always. Because the way I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
So correction from my mother was always to tear you down.
Yeah.
There was never a build-up session. You ain't never gonna be good enough. Just stop doing the homework. Go jump off a bridge. Like these are things I've been told, right? So if I went through the history of my mother with y'all would hate the woman when I got done.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is because I serve a God who gives grace, I've had to learn how to give it. It sucks because I don't want to, but I've had to learn how to.
That's good.
I'm about to say we're not talking about grace because that's
a whole nother topic. Grace hurts too. We ain't going there.
Yeah.
I've had to, with the help of my wife, had to retrain my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So when my wife brings the issue to me, is not, oh, you suck as a person. It's, baby, I'm your teammate. I love you. Mm-hmm. Can we sharpen this area real quick? Mm-hmm. And I think we sharpen this area will be good.
I think that's really good because I think a lot of women don't understand why a lot of men aren't acceptable to what
the correction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's because for a lot of men, our correction has came from a Black woman, and if it's corporal punishment, right? So it's like our correction has came from a woman all this time, and it has been a negative compensation of this, punishment. And then as I get older and I can say I don't really want to deal with that, then I don't want to deal with it, instead of saying, hey, let me work through this. But since I've already been through this, I got to start explaining it. So I think that's really, really key, bro. Like what you're saying is just like, man, my relationship with my mom. And I think for a lot of, especially like if you're a single, guy being raised by a woman, everything negative is coming from the woman, and nothing is coming from a guy, and not even in out of hate or hatred. It's out of love, trying to make sure they do right, but they don't know the damage that they're putting into the person as they do those.
Yo, Kev, peep this though. I'm gonna make it even more more plain. I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna make it more simple. It could, because I've been Kev, who are you talking to? Are you talking to you talking to kids? Okay. He muted his mic. I don't know who he was talking to. I was like but listen, so my wife and I we've been rereading the 5 love languages. And I think our typically our primary love language is that which we didn't receive when we were kids. And so for me, mine's quality time. And I thought about this the other day, and I was like, yo, I spent a lot of time as a kid at home by myself. Like, I spent a lot of time, and now my primary love language is quality time. And so I think, you know, I don't know if this is true for you, but yours might be words of affirmation, because you didn't get those. I'm talking to Josh. You might not have gotten those. What? No. What is yours? No, yours is
I'm quality time, right? And I'm physical touch.
Yeah, I remember this one because we talked about this with your daughters. And yeah. You was like, you quality time.
But like you said, it's 2 things. Either you didn't get it, or if you had a loving relationship, it's what she exhibited the most. It's 1 or 2. So for me, my mother, the only touch I got was physical hitting me. There wasn't any kisses, hugs. That wasn't her. Yeah. And then on the other end, the only time I had her is when she was cussing me out or taking us on vacation to fix it after we went through that. So it was crazy. We knew a vacation was coming because it was right after a moment that she did something crazy to us. It was always the same way. She would come in. I'll never forget. Parent-teacher conference came in, and my mom was a principal. And I'm talking about cussed us out from left to right, up and down. Cussed us out because a parent at the parent-teacher conference cussed her out. So she came home and took it out on us. 4 days later, pack your bags, we're going to Disney World. Me and my brother like, I don't want to go nowhere with you.
I was like, boy, I can't wait for her to cuss us out again. Where are we going next? I'm just
but I promise you, that was the cycle.
Right?
And then when we would get to Disney World, or when we would get to Chula Vista, California, or wherever we went, me and my brother went everywhere together and left her behind. Because you're not present Monday through Friday. Don't be present on this trip.
Yeah. And it's hard to have a relationship with somebody that
wasn't there. Like, legit. And even to this day, when my mother is trying to build with her grandkids, it's, hey, Josh, you can get them. Yeah. You got to build with them differently than how you built with us.
Build with me. Yeah.
And my wife was like, Josh, you got to let go of that anger. There is a bit of resentment there. You can show up as a bomb grandma, but you was a trap. Where were you? Yeah. Where was this attentiveness to your kids? Right? Yeah. So I get it. My love language are literally a direct correlation of what my mother did not give me. But on the flip side, I married a woman who gives it to me. Yeah. So my mama didn't give it to me, but my wife is a nurturer by spirit.
That's good.
She can't help it.
Yeah.
I can do dumb stuff, baby. It's okay. We're gonna work through it. It doesn't make sense. I often look at her like, but how are you? They're wrong. They still need nurturing, Josh. No, they're wrong. Like, they need to be put on timeout. No, they need love. What is it? And I sit back and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense until I see their reaction to her. And when I tell you, as crazy as my kids are, they come to me for the same love and affection that their mama has set the bar for because she set the bar. I was a drill sergeant when I came in this house. Yeah. This is what you finna do. This is what it is. And my wife looked me dead in my face and said, baby, you finna lose her. You might want to stop. Yeah. Dead to my face. That one right there ain't taking that. So you got to figure something out. Yeah. And then that's when the love language conversation came in, because I had to get her on kids, because she had already did the groundwork. I can't come in and rewrite Rome when Rome's been written for years. Yeah. I got to jump on board to what's been written. So a lot of men carry issues with Black women, especially as Black men, because our first heartbreak was our mamas. Yep. Absolutely. And we got to be real about that. My first heartbreak was my mom.
Yep. That's good.
And it's the first heartbreak that still hasn't been atoned for. I'm
gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it $150 because I mean, and I've told my mom this before. Like, I don't know if my mom was my first heartbreak, but we didn't have our issues, and I recognized that, like, yo, we need to talk about this.
Yeah,
and my mom is the type of person. She literally, some things happened, and she was just like, well, let's just act like this never happened and never talk about it again. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I wrote her a letter. And I was like, yo, we need to talk about this. And she was just like, oh, yeah, I got your letter. She was like, that was so beautiful. You didn't see my call to action at the end. and so it's been weird because even now, I mean, I'm 34. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm 34 and I can sense myself having a grudge with my mother. And I see my mom like almost every week. And it's so weird. And so I don't know if that was my first heartbreak, but I feel like that when the connection is deeper, the wound is deeper. And so I never try to play it off, but it's just like, yo, like, how do you heal from that? And so going back to what you said, man, like it definitely, I feel like a lot of dudes are definitely hurt from their mothers.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Yeah. And it's a connection, right? Rightfully so. Like, man, you spend 9 months in the stomach, you're born, like you breastfeed for the next 8-9 months, so it's the connection is there. I mean, I too, even though my mom's a great mom, there were some things that I just didn't agree with, and some things has happened along the way. And as we got older, depending on, and another thing about moms and men, for me,
you lost your whole train of thought.
I had to accept my mom for who she is.
Yeah.
Right. So, and the reason why I had to stop there, because it's easy for me to say, hey man, you need to just I had to really work on stepping back. Like Josh said, he's seen the pattern of his mom. So it was like, I'm mad at you, then we're going to going on a vacation. I had to look at the patterns of my mom. I had to look at the patterns of that, and I had to say, you know what? That's just who my mom is. And I don't know if she had the resources, or she knew what she was doing was wrong, or she knew what she was, because I even as an older person and as a man now, when I'm talking to teen fathers, they're so angry at their dad. But we don't know what your dad was dealing with. We don't know what your dad was going through. And sometimes it takes us to mature and get older to sit back and say, okay, what was my dad going through, or what was their life going through? And it's funny, I think I mentioned this on the podcast, like last year, Kendall and I went to Houston, just her and I, and just being able to sit down with my mom and dad, I was just like, yo, tell me a little bit of how, about y'all's life, or how y'all got together, and just to be able to see even more of what I grew up through. Does it make sense? And then it has allowed me to even let go of some more stuff. Like, oh, bet. Okay, I understand that now. But definitely had to say, you know what? My mom is my mom. My mom is who she is. I can't change her. Like, Lord knows I can't change her. And I have to just accept, pray for her, and, and accept her for who she is. And that helped me get over some things that, I was like, there was a few things I was like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna ever get over this. But once I got to the place where I said, you know what? Look at me now. I'm a great human being. I'm a great father. I'm a great person. I'm a great being. Look what I've been through. It hurt, but I love my family. I love my mom. I love my dad. Now let's get over it and move on. And the thing that I had to do was I created the relationship with my mom that I wanted. Does it make sense? Like, if I want to talk to her, I talked to her. I created that relationship because I had to have some kind of control. And I think as men, we forget we have control when we think about parents. We go back into a mindset of that's my parent. But I started saying, you know what? I'm going to call my dad and talk to my dad on these days because I want to have this relationship with my dad. I'm going to call my mom and talk to my mom. And guess what, y'all? When the conversation goes sideways, hey, I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Well, I was going to say, though, because we talking a lot about moms, but I'm like, why do we not hold dads to that same because we don't hear, and I don't know if it's Kev. I know you deal with teen fathers.
Yeah.
That story is more prevalent, I guess, there, but typically it's always I don't know another word, so I'm gonna just say it and get it out, and then we can deal with it. But I don't know why we always like villainize the black woman, and when the dad, you know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? We don't give him that same. And that same energy.
But I think it depends on the household, right? My dad was not the disciplinarian. My dad
Well, I'm just talking about in general. Like, if the connection's not there, either way it goes, like, regardless. Like my dad was a disciplinarian. My dad and I never really had a close relationship, but yet I had a closer relationship with my mom, and that went sideways. And whereas my dad, him and I didn't have that greatest relationship. But like I told you before we got on, Kev, like I have a half sister that's 9 months younger than me, 10 months younger than me. Like, why don't I hold my, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I can tell you why. We as young men put our mothers on pedestals, and we forget parents in some cases. But for me, I'm talking about Josh. My mother was on a pedestal because you were the only one I had.
Mm-hmm.
So because I'm an adoptee. So you literally adopted me as a single parent. So you were the epicenter of perfection in my eyes. Why? Because you didn't birth me, but yet you spoiled me and raised me. Mm-hmm. So I expected a certain level of care. I expected a certain level of grace. I expected for you to show up a certain way, and you didn't. Now, I have since found my biological family. Still don't know who my father is. But I have a sister, my mom, my aunts, my uncles, my grandmother, they're all alive in Jersey. Hey, family. Anyway, so I had to do it real quick, y'all. And now it's not even an issue of my mother. I love my mother the way that we have conditioned our relationship to be. Mm-hmm. I now am in a state where was this Negro at that made me? So it comes. You get there at some point. But you first have to deal with the demon that's on your back at that time of, I wanted this. Mm-hmm. You promised me in my mind this. What you gave me was this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now for that, I'm upset with you.
Yeah.
I feel the way about you. And then once you can close that door, let me open up the next closet full of skeletons and figure out what else is in here.
That's
so
good.
Now that I've dealt with the mama stuff, right? Now it's okay. Me and my sister talked the other day, like, yo, we need to figure out who this dude is. Well, how you want to? We'll figure it out. I found you on Ancestry. Let's do the other one. Let's figure it out. And really, we had that conversation, right?
Yeah.
Because she was content with finding me and stopping. I was like, wait, no, because somebody else needs to be held responsible for creating us and just dipping. And for me, it's different. I need to know what you put into me that I'm giving to my children. Mm-hmm. So if you're a diabetic, I need to know that.
Yeah.
If you have this, I need to know that.
Yeah.
They're going to get it.
Yeah.
And they deserve to know what they're facing so they can protect themselves.
Yeah. And I go back to like, we just don't hold, like you said earlier, Josh, the mother is nurturing, right? Mm-hmm. So if the mother is a nurturer and that's what I'm getting all of my zeal from, right? Mm-hmm. Think about that, bro. Like, for most parts in families, we've allowed those roles to be the dad's the worker, the mom's the nurturer, the dad's the worker. And so, look, my dad is an awesome dad, but because he's been pushed to just be a worker, he never gave me the nurturing. So I only accept the nurturing that he was allowed to give me because society told him he can only give it to me that way. Right. So I can only hold you accountable for what society said that they can do for what you can do for me. Does that make sense? And some people get caught in that mindset, right? Dad's been like we just said it a second ago. Dads being disciplinarians. Why do we have to be the only why is the dad the disciplinarian and that's
Got the dad voice, man. That's why.
And that's true too. But at the same time, hey, my wife goes first. Now that you didn't listen to her, now you got to deal with me, and it's tougher. You know what I mean? So I think we have to be able to level the playing field in that aspect because slavery, all of that stuff plays a part in why we haven't held the men accountable because they've always been pulled away from the family. Even today.
I'm not gonna lie. You said slavery, and I was like, where he going with this one? I was like, I hope he gets to the point.
But just the idea of the men being pulled away from the family.
No, I got it. Yeah, that's a real good point.
Yeah, but we've always had the men pulled, and even like I even think about today, and that's why I'm so glad that Josh is a melanated daddy is the dad doula, because advocating, and when he was talking earlier about advocating, I advocate so much for our teen dads because just like any male, when the baby is born, the guy is pushed to the side, and so we have to advocate for that connection. The importance of the male getting that connection in the first 6 months is very critical. And what happens is the baby's born in the next 6 months. Oh, my mother-in-law is coming and I got this and he's good. He just needs to go to work. We got this taken care of. Well, he's never had the opportunity to create that bond. So now the kid turns 16 and 16-year-old like, Daddy, why you don't? Well, I never had that opportunity to make that connection like that. Like I got a connection to showing you how to be a man, but I never made that connection to give you the nurturing that I can give you the way that I know how to give it. So I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of cultural change that needs to happen too.
Go ahead, Josh, because he's been waiting.
But as a girl dad, right? Me and you have a different understanding as well, right? Mm-hmm. What you said holds true, period. But my connection with my daughters is as raw as it is because they won't accept anything less.
Yeah.
So understand, I reached to my mama to get the affection and the nurturing and the love, and my mama was not equipped to give it to me. She just couldn't give it to me, right? I tell everybody, the quickest way for me to healing from my mama was to realize that she could only do what God gave her the ability to do. Mm. He gave you the ability to teach me finances. Yeah. He gave you the ability to teach me about my credit score. He gave you the ability to teach me about business. And that was it.
Yeah.
Ooh. My wife had to pick up the nurturing mantle and say, baby, you're not nurturing our kids properly. Why? Well, what's nurturing? I don't know what that is. So how? Yeah. Oh, well, let's talk about it. Let's do it, right? So as a girl dad, I had to be. Well, what my oldest was different. They demand what they want. So it's Daddy, I want a hug. Come here. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Baby love is different. My wife left me to fail. And when I say that, she didn't leave me. My wife said, "Here's your baby. Go figure it out."
Yeah.
Right? Because realistically speaking, if you don't have those inferences or those instances to pull back from, I hear her cry now and I know what it is.
Yeah.
Instantly. She's hungry. Come here. I know. You sleepy. Come here. And you just
that
know.
That fake cry.
No. But you only know that from being in the space to learn it. Unfortunately, a lot of our fathers to be or fathers up and coming are not in the spaces.
Yeah.
So then you come in here as a weekend father talking about this kid is unruly. No, that kid don't know you.
Yeah.
The kid's not unruly. The kid is doing exactly what the kid is supposed to do. Your child don't know you.
Bro, that's one of my biggest things.
Yeah. And part of Dad Doula is trying to correct the fact that this mama's baby, daddy maybe scenario. I hate that. This is my baby too.
Yeah.
It's mama baby's daddy baby. We here together.
Yeah.
Even if your dynamic is not a relationship, you better be a part of that baby life, because statistics show you what happens when a father's not present. I can post a whole list on Instagram today. Like, these are all the issues when the daddy ain't present. Even to the point with increased health issues. Wait, what? Yes, I saw the face, Josh. Increased health issues. Your babies are more prone to get sick when they don't have the love and the nurture from both mommy and daddy. Yep. To the point proven. My daughter gets sick, I take my shirt off instantly, and it's skin to skin time. Come get on this skin. And within minutes, that temperature drops. And it's freaky how it works. I promise you, I still don't know how it works.
No. Yeah.
Like, we need to have more advocating for fathers being fathers. And I hate this narrative of, oh, you're a daddy when the baby get here. Somebody lied to you. The moment that woman got pregnant,
you became a father. Yeah.
You're not a father. You're a daddy. Because daddy's a personal relation. That's your baby. You're a daddy. So get in there and do what you got to do. So when you advocate for her, you advocate for your child. It's different. It's different. People don't understand that. And it bothers me. It bothers me getting into these spaces. I be on Clubhouse all the time and I don't say nothing.
You still be on Clubhouse?
Bro, I get on like once a week to hear nonsense from dudes, and I specifically get in rooms with blended families because I got one, and rooms of dudes talking about, oh, my son is my son regardless if I'm there or not. And I light it up on purpose. You're not finna like me, I don't care. But you owe that child more than what you talking about in this room. Yeah. You sound stupid.
Yeah.
Well, the mother of my child won't look. The mother of my child hated me for 5 years. My child is upstairs asleep right now. It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about repairing the harm and doing what you got to do for your child. That's what it's about.
That's good.
I'm off my high horse. Go ahead.
No, you good. I was gonna say because both of you guys, because you guys have older kids, and I'm just you said something, and you talk about the cries and things like that, and it flashed back to tonight because my daughter was crying tonight, and I was like, oh, that's a real cry. It was my fault. It was my fault. We was playing horsey, and I bucked her off, and she flipped over the front, and she hit her face, and I was like, oh. That's a real cry.
That's a real cry.
Yeah, that's a real cry. Oh, and so she's fine. But I was wondering though, what does that look like as they get older? Because and I don't know, maybe it is still like they still do cry or whine and things like that, and the difference. But what are some other things? You know what I mean? Like that you could tell the difference on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kev, you want to go first? You want me to go?
You got it. You go first. I'll come back.
Number one for me is my presence equals protection for my children now. So whenever perfect example, baby Love was at the doctor's office with the wife. It was like 2 days ago. And the whole time in the doctor, she had to call me on FaceTime so my daughter would stop crying. Dad. And she was telling on the doctor, she can't even talk yet. Okay, baby, what do you do? Okay, well, let's come home then. It's the fact that I equal protection now, right? That comes with relationship.
Yeah.
That comes with presence. That comes with time. Number two, my wife had to teach me about the whining. I didn't know a whine was an attempt to self-soothe.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I thought whine, like, stop whining, boy. I said, baby, that's his attempt to regulate himself.
Yeah.
I said, oh, I didn't even know. Like, I promise you, a lot of this parent stuff I learned from her. I don't take credit for none of it. I regurgitated it, but I learned it from her. But like the presence and being in the space builds a connection that it's almost hard to explain, right? Mm-hmm. So that same little girl who you just helped fall off her horsey who was crying will remember that 5 years from now. And when somebody looks at her the wrong way, Daddy, you're now protection all over again. But that comes with being in the space.
Yeah.
That comes with truly learning what advocating looks like, but bigger than that, putting myself last and letting my kids see me as somebody here strictly for them. My kids understand, I don't care how mad I am at you, I don't care what dumb thing you just did 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, you need to come tell me.
Yeah.
Boy,
Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, like, that's one of my biggest things personally is that just that calming voice. Even when it's in something just then blew up, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, we could do this, and it's just being that steady hand for them, knowing that, like, hey, like, whatever happened, you could talk to Dad. But that's all I want to say. I did want to ask you about the whining because you know what I'm saying. Your wife was saying that whining is self-soothing. But my daughter is almost 3, and we don't tell her don't cry, but it's just like, hey, like I it's okay to cry, but I need you to tell me what's going on. Like, I can't help you when you're crying.
Yeah.
But sometimes
so then I start asking questions. I'm like, okay, are you upset? She's like, yeah. Okay, well, why are you upset? Because of this. Okay. Now we can figure it out, and it's not shut up, stop crying.
And sometimes you have to do the pause, right? So hey, whenever you get done and you're done, whatever you're doing, come here. I want to talk to you. I really want to talk to you about how you're feeling, like, and things like that. So definitely, because that's how we did with whining. We was like, dude, you can whine all day, but I don't understand what you need until you're able to talk. And so we would revisit.
But at the same token, sometimes whining is all they have, right? Yeah. So I've learned with my daughter, my 8-year-old, she's 8 years old. She can talk all she needs to. When she gets into those places of hyperventilating, rage, anger, sadness, whatever it is, we have to pull out a wheel. Hey, point to what you're feeling.
Hey, where you get that will at?
This is a Melanated Mama products.
Yeah, but how much? I mean, it don't matter how much it costs. I need one.
Okay, I said, let's. After this, she said she got you. She right here. She got you. But realistically, because and my children have my anger, so let me lead with that. When I get to a point, I don't hear or see anything. I see red. That's me. My daughter upstairs, the 8-year-old, well, both of them have it differently. One gets violent, one gets silent. And you have to learn how to maneuver that. And baby love downstairs, when she get mad, it's over.
You always feel about myself.
She mad. Kingston don't do this.
He's the one who whines.
He whines, but he don't get over. Kingston is Ashe for a reason. He don't get mad. Anyway, sorry. So
hey, if you're gonna be chiming in, you're gonna get on the screen.
Being completely transparent, right? There's moments when they get so worked up, they can't say nothing.
Yeah.
All you hear is and I relate to that because that's me. I get it. Mm-hmm. I used to, as a child, I would get so mad, I would break things on purpose and dare you to try me, so I could break you. I was waiting for the opportunity, right? So I understand that. So even like perfect example, last night my daughter ran out of clean panties, came down mad. Daddy, I don't want to sleep without panties on, baby. It's 2:00 in the morning. You're already asleep. What do you want me to do? It's 2:00 in the morning. Daddy, I want panties. Baby, I get it. Okay, let's walk upstairs because you're going to wake the baby up. Let's talk about it. Walked her upstairs. I said, baby, what do you want me to do? Out of her mouth, and it caught me off guard just flawlessly. I want to cuddle.
Sorry.
We're talking about panties, baby. I want to cuddle. And she was matter of fact, this is what I want. Give it to me.
It's the deep voice for me. That's why
I climbed. Well, so her voice is raspy. So
no, I got it. But
but I climbed in that little twin size bed without breaking it. I don't know how that happened. I'm still amazed that didn't break. Anyway, I climbed in that twin size and I held her for 30 seconds. My daughter was knocked out.
That's what's up.
That only happened because enough of these exercises gave her coping mechanisms to make it work.
Yeah.
I know in this moment I'm too mad to color. It's too late to do anything else. Just hold me and let me fall asleep.
Yeah.
Dad, let's do it.
Yeah.
She was asleep. She woke up this morning, got her panties, and forgot all that ever happened.
Yeah.
Learning our children to this degree is our job. And you can only do that by being present. If you're not there, and I'm not talking about weekend present, no shade to weekend dads. If that's the best you can get, I got you. Cool. But that intentional daily purpose and presence is key.
Yeah.
I got another story, but I'll talk too much, so I'm going to shut up and let y'all talk.
But no, absolutely.
I think when Kev starts saying, yeah, that means he ready to chime in.
But I think that's definitely the key, because like with Kendall, it's just watching who she is. Who is she developing to become? And I think the problem is we don't know who we are as parents, so we can't direct our kids who they are, because who our kids are is really a DNA imprint of who we are. Right. So it's oftentimes like we see Kendall, like Kendall had her last volleyball game today. And so we're in, wifey is getting upset because, they supposed to be warming up. She's supposed to be, serving and hitting the ball, but she's just over there just chilling. And wifey's getting upset. And I'm just like, yeah, that's something that I probably would have been doing at her age, you know what I mean? So I think the most important thing Josh said is like, we really need to learn our kids. There is no such thing to like, everybody's like, oh, you got a teenager, she's gonna do XYZ. I'm like, not my house. Like, sit in your room all day. I'm coming in your room. Like, what's up? Like, I'm getting in your business because you're my kid. And if you're not having any you can have a connection on YouTube all day, but you need to have a connection with me. And I'm going to fight to have that connection. And I think parents don't realize that you used to be a middle school little kid too. Like you wanted to go to the school football games. You wanted to do anything to hang out with your friends, but not hang out with your parents. And that's okay. So you have to make a decision. Am I going to be that parent that's got all the kids hanging out at your house? Or you taking them, wherever they want to go? Or you going to be that parent that's sending your kid? Or you going to be that parent that your kid's upset with you because you won't allow them to be a teenager or a kid and socialize as they should be doing anyway. And so I think that's where we have to kind of mature and grow as parents. Like, we need to be present for our kids, but we can't. It was just like, man, Delina and I went to the park to have lunch one day.
Cute.
Baby kids playing on the playground were the parents.
Oh.
Sitting in the car, looking out the window, making sure, like, you need to be on the playground with your kids. You need to be engaged with your kids. You took them to the park, but you need to engage with them at the park. And so I think a lot of parenting woes will be healed if we pull back and we say, hey, I'm gonna be present. I'm gonna love my kid for who they are. I'm gonna meet my kid where they are, and I'm gonna help them where they need to be. I think our biggest frustration with Kendall is we see so much potential. You know what I mean? And so is it her fault? No, absolutely not. It's my duty to say, how can I get this potential to great? How can I get this potential into actually forming? And I can't be frustrated. I can't be frustrated with her because I'm not doing my job.
Can I give you the cheat code to answer that question? You just love her. Ultimately speaking, my job is not to do anything other than to love you like God loves you. And when I love you perfectly the way God is, and the way God has loved me, flaws and all, I'm present, I'm in your business, I show you I love you, I do the things that I wanted as a child, your purpose, everything is going to grow the way it's supposed to. The Bible tells us to train a child in the way that they should go. It doesn't say force a child. It doesn't say remind the child. It doesn't say beat the child over the head until it happens.
Well,
it says train. Baby, this is the way to go. You choose what you do.
Yep.
And so, I'm training you.
And so with that, the training, I have to be also responsible in the training. And that's where we are now. Like, I'm sorry, but 7:00, all internet is going to be turned off. Why? Because we do have to step in and intervene. And I just want to make sure we know that, yeah, we got to love them, but we do got to get in there and be like, yo, you need to put that. And so that's where we are, Josh, right now. We're at the point where, we love her to death. And we allow her to do whatever God is in her mind to do. But you can't say at the same time, faith without works. You know what I mean? So you want to be this, but you're not working towards it. And so that's frustration for a parent. But at the same time, the frustration needs to leave. And we say, how do we help them get to where they need to be? And I think that's where I was coming from our side of it was, bro, we love you to death. But this guitar I just bought, this piano you got, these lessons we paying for.
Bro, can't bring up this guitar and this piano every week.
because
he's so mad.
And I'm not mad about it. I'm just trying to show the level of how much we're behind our kid. Like I want people to, like, I see so many parents that be like, I can't afford it. You can get behind your kid and help your kid become what God called them to be.
Right.
But at the same time, I can't go and buy these things and pay for these things and not hold her accountable.
Kev, what you're talking about is called boundaries. It's called boundaries. That's what you're talking about. My wife is killer at this. And I talk so much mess about that fluffy parenting, right? I always do. It's just something I do. It's just funny. But my wife has exercised her boundary perfectly. It was the other day. Marley was going ham. Marley, here's my boundary. I need you to move. I promise you, she ain't say nothing else. Marley just stomped off, had a whole fit. That's my boundary. Here's my boundary. Wi-Fi goes off at 7. That's my boundary.
Yeah.
I love you. I know you got stuff to do. I can make changes if necessary. Hey, but I'm not doing my homework. You got 30 more minutes for the Wi-Fi. That's different.
Yeah.
Boundaries can be adjusted as needed. But love and boundaries go hand in hand. I tell people all the time, man, I just want to raise this perfect child and just let them do what they want to do. That's cool if that's what you want to do. But there's a level of boundary setting that has to happen to train anything. You don't train a dog by saying, hey, just go run around and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
I set boundaries for that dog, and they understand this is a boundary. I have to learn that.
Absolutely.
Now, not to compare our children with dogs. I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is, with agape love or that unconditional love built in there has to be boundaries. My boundary for my daughters, don't touch me until you ask for permission. I'm teaching consent. look here, you can't touch me until I say yes. You can want it all you want, but you got to ask first, and vice versa. Come here, give me a hug. Can I have a hug? Yeah. Okay, cool. And because I need you to understand this. Right. My whole thing is protection. If it's anything I'm going to teach my kids, it's protection. All the other stuff, I leave that to the wife to tell me to teach it, and then I go at it. like right now, we're preparing for this sex talk, and I'm not ready. But I have to get ready. Right? So I get it, right? And my wife was like, babe, you got to get, okay, let me get ready. I don't want to have it. My girls are princesses. You don't need to know. No, the truth of it is the boundary has to be, if you're going to learn anything about this, it's going to come from this house. Yeah. Them little boys ain't going to tell you what you need. No, I'm going to tell you what you need to know. Right? Yeah. So in all this love we give, cool, but make your boundaries fit. Because if you don't have boundaries, your kids won't understand what a boundary is. And then that's how we get kids who are so misinformed and lost in the sauce. Mm-hmm. They didn't learn it at home first. Lost in the sauce.
Hey, but we almost reached my boundary on this podcast. So I'm gonna just
you messed up by putting me and Kev together.
No. So here's actually what it is. I've actually been thinking about this for about 5 minutes, but I'm just letting y'all talk because I'm aware of who's on here, and I know if I tell you now that we about to end this, I still got about 10 more minutes. Because I'm like, hey Josh, let me get your last point. Kev, let me get your last point. And then after Kev give his last point, Josh is gonna be like, you know what that's called, Kev? That's called faith. And then Josh gonna go on a story about that, and then Kev gonna have a comment. And I'm gonna be like, that's it. That's you know what I'm saying. Like I already know.
I'm happy you understand this early. I'm so happy.
Right? Because I was already sitting here like, boundaries.
No, I know because I can hear you, Kev. I know when Kev want to say something because I know the look. I know the sound. Kev be like, yeah, that's good. Now when Kev will start saying that's good, he about to jump in and you need to finish.
I like it.
But see, look.
I ain't saying nothing.
Anyways, Josh, man, get us out of here, ish.
You messing up. That's the wrong thing to tell me to do. We didn't talk about a lot.
Look, I know how to push in on the podcast.
I know, right? All in all, we didn't talk about a lot. Right.
Yeah, I still don't know what this goes back to the same thing last time. I was like, what we call this podcast? Daddy Talk 101.
We're just talking. Call this Dad Talk 102. I support that.
I'm trying to use some searchable terms here. I'm trying to get the analytics up.
I guess for me, if I have to leave you with any, I'm gonna say two things because we didn't talk about a lot of stuff. Number one, heal your trauma so your children don't have to deal with your trauma. And number two, listen to Black women. Now, if you don't have a Black woman, listen to the woman you with. But for me, it's listen to Black women because that's all I got. Because a large part of my healing came through the women I'm with. And not just my wife, my daughters. When my grandmother passed, my daughters nursed me through that. Yeah, it was the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. I tried not to cry, and they wouldn't let me run. Come here, Daddy. We're going to sit here until you get it all out. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah. So heal your traumas before your kids have to, and listen to Black women.
KB.
Man, I really don't have anything at the end of this because it's just like, again, so many great nuggets. Like, love your kids, man. Like, seriously, like 2020, 2021 take a lot out of people. And a lot of people were able to step back and kind of reclaim some time. As we get back to life, like, love your kids. Love your kids. Yeah, the quote unquote get back to life. I really love your kids. And watch this. Not even that, love yourself. Because it's hard for you to love your kids when you don't love yourself. It's hard for you to be able to give conscious discipline when you don't love yourself. It's hard for you to have a great relationship with your kid if you don't love yourself. And so and I'm seeing this now as I step into this youth pastor's role and talking to some parents, and a lot of the issues is not the kid, it's you not taking time for yourself. And so we have to really take time for ourselves so we can properly raise and train our own kids and not let them be the brunt of our trauma, right? Josh, I was just thinking about, you said your mom was a principal. My mom was a teacher. So I had to train myself when my mama come home, I ain't asking nothing. Well, at least 30 to 45 minutes. So she could get whatever happened at the school out of her system. And now I can have a relationship or talk with her. But I shouldn't have to do that as a kid, right? Because as a kid, the parent should have to have some regulation. So when they come and talk to me or have a relationship with me at that moment, it's not escalated. So love yourselves, take care of yourselves, make sure you're in the right place to parent.
Yo, that's good. I'm surprised at y'all, man. I thought that was gonna take a lot longer. But no. I saw Josh's face. He's like, "Oh, really? Oh, really?" Yo, that's it, man. Yo, this really has been a dope episode. On a lighter note, yo, if y'all are in the area, I'm not talking about you guys, but I'm talking about people in podcast land. But if you're in the area this Halloween, if you want to swing through, we giving out candy. If you look for the 10-foot Santa on an elephant, that's my house. And then I got a black Santa that's 7 feet tall. Yeah, pull up. It don't matter. Hey, it's cool. I got a 10-foot Santa on an elephant, and then I got a 7-foot black Santa. So yeah, we giving out candy.
Yeah.
Sorry, the cat just pulled up to my back door and started meowing. I was like, "Who is outside, bro?" Yeah, and that's it. That's all. Yo, I appreciate you guys, man. Josh, thanks for jumping on here, bro. We had another show, but the homie didn't come through, and Josh was like, "Hey, say less." And so now him and wifey about to go get that workout in and be accountable to each other, and we appreciate you guys. But everybody else, like the podcast. What'd you say, Josh? You trying to get out of it?
I was asking if we still was, just double checking with the I don't make no decisions. What we doing? Okay.
Bro, you sound like me in my house. You know what I'm saying? I tell my wife, you know what I'm saying, if it's like a business decision, she can make it. But if we in the streets, I got it.
You got it.
My wife from the country, she don't know nothing about nothing. And so she don't know nothing about nothing. And that's not a hate on country folks. I'm just saying my wife don't know nothing about nothing. Like if she has to survive, she might not make it. But anyways, everybody else, man, like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast. Josh said that he wants to be the #1 listened to episode, and he got some work to do because we got some runners out there. He's number 5 right now on the last episode. He's number 5.
The difference is I got 2 episodes.
Oh,
but you don't know how many Terry got.
But you still got to add both mine together.
Terry got 3.
Terry can have to. That makes me number 2 then.
No, it makes me number 3.
DJ got 3.
DJ got 4.
DJ got 4. Oh, because so here's what happened. DJ was in on like the second episode. He was like, "Hey, bro, you want to come through real quick?" So we got a little podcast. You know what I'm saying? Can you get on here?
All in all, I have a faith base that teaches me that what God has for me
is for you.
Is for me. And slide number 1 is indeed for me. I'm gonna bring you back again. This ain't the last time. Y'all done,
hey, right? Hey, man, y'all be great, man. Take care. God bless. We out of here.
Yeah.